Warning: the show you are about to hear contains muscular, intelligent, and intelligible sexy men discussing B-movies, and will contain movie spoilers. Only one of the previous statements is actually true. You decide.
So light that fuse and let it burn. There's no escape, there's no return. Exploding heads and synthwave licks. We're deep in cult classic kicks. Low budget dreams that never quit. Every frame a misfit hit. This is the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast. This is Duncan The Baz. The B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast.
Welcome back to the B-Movie Blitzkrieg Podcast, the cinematic asylum where science meets stupidity, prosthetics meet polyester, and the only thing stitched tighter than the monster is the plot holes. I'm your host, Duncan McLeish, the doctor of deranged design, the professor of the patchwork pandemonium, and the dean of dubious DNA. And of course, the only man who once asked a university ethics board if reanimating corpses for podcast content counted as research. Spoiler alert, they said no, and I've told them that they lack vision. Tonight, we are cracking open Blackenstein, the Black Frankenstein from 1973, a film that boldly asks, what if Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was rewritten by someone who skimmed the cliff notes, watched a blaxploitation double feature, and then decided science is just vibes. Expect bad wigs, worse dialogue, and a monster whose left hook is the only thing in this movie with real impact. But speaking of cinematic experiments gone wrong, this episode would not be complete without my trusty lab assistant. He is the surgeon of Schlock, the baron of the bad biology, and the count of the catastrophic chromosome. A man who once tried to patent ethical necromancy and was banned from 3 science conventions for calling the judges Philistines. He is the patron saint of DIY horror, the high priest of head transplants, and the only man who thinks a reanimated corpse in a rage spiral is just misunderstood. He's, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the Baz.
Guten Abend, mein sexy Liebchen. Fire up the panzers, let's drive this movie back to the coast of France.
Is it safe to say this has never been on your radar before?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's also safe to say that there was a Dr. Mengele joke swirling around in my brain for that intro, and I just thought, nope, it's not happening.
A step back. This is how I know we've matured as a podcast. Because a month ago, I don't know if that preservation of the podcast would have kicked in. I've got a sneaky suspicion it wouldn't. Here we are.
We're too near the end of this season to get us put off here now.
We are so tantalizingly close to the end of this season that this is where the ordering of the movies, which were done in a random generator, I put all the movies in and kicked them out. Sometimes our double recording sessions gift us a beautiful bounty of content to discuss. Other times it gives us maybe one great movie and one less great movie, and it just so happens that in this particular scenario, episodes 15 and 16 back to back are going to be a bit of a slog. So yes, I'm sorry, right? But there are so many blaxploitation movies that could make the cut, and we'd already done Dolomite, which is like one of the big ones. And I have more in upcoming seasons, so Blackula will be in there, you'll be happy to know. And of course Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, a movie that I genuinely think is absolutely incredible. But Blackenstein made its way in, and this is one of the earlier ones in the kind of horror blaxploitation kind of crossover thing. 73 is still relatively young in that genre. And I don't know is what I'm going to say. Someone thought this was a great idea. We will have things to talk about. I don't know how. Let's put it this way. I don't think at the end of this, anything we say is going to do justice to just what is actually going on in this movie, which at one point I will need to explain to me.
Did you say 73?
73, yeah.
That was the year the Baz burst forth.
There we go.
Eh,
Eh?
just all happening in 73, big man.
I will tell you right now, there's one good thing came out in 1973. I'll leave the listeners to work out what that was.
Like that.
Right.
I'm just glad I also managed to suppress the joke I had spinning about my head there about my mother's vagina.
I'm like, once again, your self-restraint. I'm going to just assume you've not spunked a bottle of red wine tonight.
Just not drank enough yet. No.
Yes, clearly. We'll see what happens in episode 16 when we're a few in. Ladies and gents, we're going to take a short break just now. When we come back, the Baz is going to be telling us exactly what happens in the plot of Blackenstein. Spoiler alert, not a lot. When we come back, we're going to be doing it, and we're going to be doing it right after this. And welcome back, ladies and gents, to a segment that I've called Stitching and Bitching. This is a plot summary of the movie Blackenstein. Baz, I've set you up in the previous segment by basically saying this movie is a tough nut to crack. The floor is yours. Tell the listeners out there what, indeed, if anything, actually happens in this movie.
Okie dokie. Strap in, folks. As I said earlier on there, I didn't have any connection with this movie in the past. Not seen it, didn't know anything about it. I'd heard the name, I think, but then a lot of these kind of blaxploitation films, the names do fly about in kind of memes and in the common parlance and movie world kind of thing, you know. Anyway, but as it turns out, Blackenstein, basically a fine-ass scientist broad, reconnects with her mentor in the hopes that he can help her now limbless Vietnam veteran boyfriend who's apparently stood in a landmine. Using some very hokey scientific theory and a lab that has very little in the way of safety procedures. They manage to reattach his limbs and they use a DNA serum to keep his body from rejecting them. Unfortunately for them, the scientist geezer, the science mentor, has a sex-crazed lab assistant that we'll call Black Igor. And he swaps the DNA serum for an RNA serum, which causes his jungle animal side to become dominant and for some fucking reason his head to turn square. Casting my mind back some 30 odd years to my high school biology class, I don't think that's how DNA and RNA work.
Doesn't, no.
Yeah. Anyway, once his head is fully square, he goes on numerous murderous rampages, but also always manages to return to his dungeon cell at the scientist's house undetected, which is, for a guy who apparently can't walk without his arms outstretched in front of him, is quite impressive. This goes on a fairly gentle, loping roll until Black Igor tries to rape Dr. Walker, after which he just goes absolutely fucking mental, and is eventually disemboweled by a pack of police Dobermans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that could have been a 15-minute short, but sadly they stretched this film out for, was it nearly 80 minutes?
Yes, and once again, there's a lot of well, we're going to get to it, but it has all the trappings of a blaxploitation movie in that in the middle of this, we just get live performances from musicians and like anything to pad this fucking movie out to an hour and 20. Like they're using all the tricks in the book. Like
I don't think they made any heroin addicts take actual heroin in this, unlike in Dolomite.
Yeah, but, not every movie can be Dolomite.
That's one of the few pluses. Do you know?
Yeah, not every movie can be Dolomite. I wish every movie could be Dolomite, but not all of them. Right, Baz, you know what? I think with that setup, we are now primed to like talk about the rad, the sad, the bad, potentially the mads, and we'll take a very short break. When we come back, we're going to be doing it and you guys are going to hear all about it right after this. And welcome back, ladies and gents, to a segment I've called Bolts, Blunders, and Bad Decisions. This is a countdown of the rad, sad, the bad, and the mad of Blackenstein. I'm just kicking us off here. I've put this as rad / mad / bad. The inevitable reveal of our Blackenstein here. Who, I mean, the guy is imposing. He's a big dude. So love the frame, love the look of him. But you've already kind of hit the nail on the head. He does kind of look like he's fallen asleep on a table, which had like paper mache squares on them, and when he come up, it just stuck to his head. Or like fucking what's his face, Rick Mayall's character from Drop Dead Fred, when his head is squashed in the fridge. He just has a huge head, this big massive square like shape, which is never explained at all, and no one seems confused by it. No one's like, how did his head end up like that? It just seems to be like, oh, he's a Blackenstein now.
I think on that, and this will kind of lead into one of mine, they kind of, it's as I said earlier on, it's like the swapping of the serums causes this animalistic side to come out.
Yeah.
And they kind of lean into the kind of Cro-Magnon Neanderthal kind of vibe, so you get this enormously pronounced like
ridge,
brow bone
yeah,
on the head and all that. And actually, this kind of leads me into one of the bad things about this film, which is the pretty heavy racist vibes in it.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Anybody that knows me, and God forbid if you've listened to stuff I've said on our old podcast, will know I ain't particularly woke when it comes to things. I am an old bastard. Don't let the sexy visage fool you. I'm quite old and very white. Right? But even I picked up on this. I mean, the world's greatest scientist, well, he's a white dude. He's like the only white dude in this fucking movie. You know what I mean? But he's the world's greatest scientist. And this savage beast is, of course, black. And the other lead male black character in it is a fucking rapist. Do you know what I mean? And
yes.
It's like, in this, not so much necessarily the square head, but the bit with the eyebrow and that, it kind of, and I apologise in advance for this, made him kind of ape-like looking.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? And yeah, even I'm picking up on kind of racist undertones in it. And I don't even think that's looking at it with modern eyes. Do you know what I mean?
No.
If I had seen this back in the day, I'd have probably been like, why is the only white guy in this whole movie the saviour supposed to be of the human race? Do you know what I mean? That was a bit weird.
Yeah, it's so on the nose, it's past. You know what I mean? It's like it's in the brain. That's how far it's went. What you got for me? Hit me with it.
Moving away from that fairly serious topic, which, as we all know, is not like me. I thought Tiger Leg was pretty fucking rad. Didn't see that coming, I've got to say. I did not see that coming at all. So for a bit of background for anybody that's not seen it and frankly can't be fucked sitting through this, in the white scientist's mansion where he conducts all his experiments and so on, there are other people living there rent-free in his house who has previously I suppose experimented would be the right word, previously performed medical procedures / experiments on. One of whom is this kind of aging white woman who apparently is about 40 years older than she actually looks, because this is the effect it's had on her. But there's also this guy. I can't remember the exact story behind the leg.
Yeah.
But basically this introduces the idea that this kind of RNA stuff can drag out a kind of animalistic part of your brain or your physiology or whatever, and they pull back this fucking the blankets on his bed and one of his legs painted like a tiger. I just saw it. It's absolutely hilarious because it's not even like modern movie makeup. God, no. It's like face paint, and they've just painted tiger stripes on his leg.
Yeah.
And that doesn't get any worse. It doesn't spread across his body or anything like
Stops
that.
right there.
Just get a tiger leg.
Just
It
get a
was-
wee tiger leg and
you
you're
know what I
fine.
mean? And after I saw that bloody song Tiger Feet, the mud was just going round and round in my head all the way through this. That's neat, that's neat, that's neat. Oh, honestly.
It's like a kind of almost a kind of a riff on the island of Dr. Moreau. They could have really
Yeah.
really went down, but no, you don't get that, because what we have instead is, and I put it as a collection of bad, which is almost every science montage in this movie is just fucking ludicrous. It's like it's like lights and electricity in the background, and
I know,
people standing.
there's arc lightning everywhere, and they
Everywhere.
don't have as much as a pair of safety goggles on.
Like Tesla didn't have this, right? Like there's just like fucking like just everywhere flying a bit, and it's always them like with a clipboard going like this, right? And it's just so fucking like it's just so nonsensical that like every time they do a scene where they're doing anything scientific, I'm just like they're just like get like, you know what? You're in LA, you're filming this movie, you have access to like Hollywood people who want, like doctors who want to be involved in movies. Just sit with them for 5 minutes. Just get them to write something, anything medical that would give this movie a semblance of credibility. And they're like, nope, clipboards and electricity and DNA injections. That, you know what that means? That means science. So yeah,
Science, bitch.
it's just Thomas Dolby now playing in my head. It's like science. I don't know. You touched on this on your synopsis. This movie, like this unstoppable killing force who is marauding around the kill, is just mauled by a couple of dogs
Yeah.
at the end, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the message is supposed to be. Is it police brutality? Is this something that was happening on the streets where they would set the dogs up? I don't know, but it is so left field. It's there's no like
too much credit there, to be honest.
do you know what I mean? I legitimately don't know why they were like that. How do we kill him off? Well, and you know, in Frankenstein, the villagers chase him down. No, we can't have that. We just set some dogs on him. Aye, let's just do that.
It's that whole kind of Stephen King ending thing, isn't it?
Just,
the fuck do we finish this?
I think they just panicked and they were like that. Dogs.
Yeah,
So,
that's
bad
very, very shit.
Mm.
The other thing that's sad, to be frank, is the terrifyingly short amount of time that it takes Dr. Walker to move on from poor limbless Eddie. I mean, there is still steam coming off his entrails, and she's off trying to get fingered by this handsome big black cop. What a fucking whore.
Absolutely. Especially like, no thank you for your service, you know.
Nah, at all. Not at all.
Nah.
And the cops should know better. There's a fucking goddamn veteran lying there.
100% should know better. Did I have nothing else in my notes here, which aren't like I had like 3 things which I've lumped in as a collection of bad science montages. Do you have anything else you want to finish off on, or will we jump right to lines from the movie that made
The
our eyes
only
roll?
other thing worth mentioning, I think, that is in my notes was under bad again. So we had the heavy racist vibes.
Yeah.
I thought the heavy rape vibes coming off Black Igor were quite bad. But then, in fairness, he follows through and does try to rape her. Do you know what I mean? So it's it makes the earlier vibes less weird.
Yeah,
Still
maybe
not very
less
pleasant,
than
but-
subtle foreshadowing. Is that what you could call it? There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, ladies and gents, with that, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be doing a segment which covers some of the dialogue. Dialogue ain't great in this movie. We're going to be coming back to do that right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Quotes That Need a Lab Safety Manual. These are lines from this movie that we've pulled out for note. I mean, generally I like to have fun with this segment. I was saying to Baz just before I hit record, and there ain't a lot of stuff here.
No, they don't lean into. Ironically, the name of the movie, the way it is, you think they would lean into the kind of innuendo type kind of patter.
100%.
They really don't. They almost try to play this straight and serious,
Yep.
which doesn't fucking work.
No. Have you got?
I have a couple.
for it.
There's a one bit that made me chuckle quite earlier on. So we've got Dr. Steen, who's the white science genius guy,
Mhm.
says to Doctor, I think is it Walker, the female.
Yep.
She's asked him to look at her wounded veteran boyfriend,
Mhm.
and he's like, and what seems to be the problem? He stood in a landmine, mate. He thinks the fucking problem here. Do you know what I mean?
Just walk it off.
World's greatest scientist, and you don't know what the problem is when I told you stood in a landmine. You know what I mean? Hemorrhoids, mate. Chronic hemorrhoids.
Was Vietnam? It's most likely gonorrhea. So there's a line in here where they're basically discussing like the potential side effects of what could happen for using all these injections and all the rest. And the line, "Nothing can go wrong," comes out, which like you fast forward this movie 10 minutes and limbs are being dismantled from people, and
Yeah.
he's just like. He's right hook Clyding people out windows. I love that.
There's a wee guy lying in bed going like that. I have a tiger leg that would argue with that.
Like, unless he wanted, Baz, we don't know. Maybe his dream was tiger leg. Maybe
Like
he
that
also
wee mad
looked
guy
in that.
that lived on that island in Scotland that got his whole body tattooed like a cheetah.
Science will make you whole again, Baz. That's a line in here. Science will make you whole again. And yes, I've written here, and you've already you stole my thunder a few days, but it's like, yes, I put underneath it as something. Science will make you whole again. If by whole, that means having the leg of a tiger. You know what I mean? If that's your dream, then we got you. What else you got?
The other bit that kind of made me chuckle, and I'm not actually writing it down word for word because it wasn't just a kind of one-liner, but Black Igor's confession of love to Doc Walker is cringingly hilarious.
Yes.
So that did make me chuckle.
It's bad.
And what makes it funnier is it comes off the back of about 15 different scenes where he just kind of stares at her out the corner of his eyes with this, like, I am going to rape you into a coma kind of vibe that he's serving. Do you know what I mean?
From the moment he answers the door to her, in the introduction, he is just... I'm like, oh my God.
Split you like an overripe peach type thing.
With that in mind, we're going to jump away from this segment, dear God almighty. When we come back, we're going to be discussing plot holes for a movie which is about science. I'm sure there are no plot holes here. When we come back, we're doing it, and we're doing it right after this. And welcome back to a segment I've called Plot Holes Bigger Than a Brain in a Jar. This is... I mean, I literally could have spent the entire half an hour runtime of this episode just going through plot holes that don't make any sense. You said you had a couple, so I will let you take first swing at this one, and then I'll come in with some of mine.
Yeah, I have not included any of the science stuff as a plot hole because I think that just goes without saying.
Giant plot hole.
Let's just accept that none of the science in this makes any fucking sense. Of the two things that I kind of thought, you got that wrong. So the first one, and this ties back into my racism accusations earlier on. We've basically got 3 different patients in this mansion place that are living there, right? Blackenstein being one of them. And his condition is just getting worse and worse and worse because of Black Igor's evil machinations. So why is he the only one that they take out the nice palatial bedroom and make live in a dungeon in the cellar? Do you know what I mean? Why come Tiger Leg's not in there? or Randy Old Lady? Why are neither of them in the dungeon? It's only the black guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not a great look, is it? It really, like, the more you think about it, it really is not a great look.
But that leads me nicely into my second one, so I'm just going to burst through both of them, because I tell you what does look good is Blackenstein. But why given that when he finally escapes, he can barely walk,
Yep.
right? Has he managed to dress himself in a very sharp suit and some extremely fly ankle boots? Do you know what I mean? The man can barely walk, but he's got himself suited and booted and ready to hit the town.
I
know what I
literally my top one here was who dressed Blackenstein. It's my top point because he does strut out, and
Oh God, yes.
all that's missing is like a monster funk riff in the background. You know, Isaac Hayes, who is man? You know what I mean? Like, just yes, as it was on my list. The other one is like, why is Blackenstein's rage so selective? Like he doesn't kill everyone that he comes across. It's just
No.
select people, and there doesn't appear to be rhyme the reason. It's not like he disrespects authority or anything like that. It's just he has a very kind of, you'll do, you won't do. And it's never explained. Nothing is ever explained because...
And why does he always keep going back to the house? And to
I
the
don't know.
dungeon?
I have no
what I
idea.
mean?
To get his injection? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
None of it makes any fucking sense.
That
Because
feels like a
when
plot.
Frankenstein finally escapes, he kind of goes on a rampage because
Yes.
he's found his freedom.
Yes.
Whereas there's a kind of cuck thing going on there. You know what I mean? It's kinda going,
We are not doing this again. We are not. We've done like that ginger dead episode about killed me with a cut conversation. We're not doing it again. What we're gonna do is we're gonna jump out, and when we come back, we're gonna be scoring this and closing out the show right after this. And welcome back to a segment called Rated R for Reanimation, Rampage, and Really Bad Wigs. Baz, you have now partaken of the forbidden fruit that is Blackenstein. What are you scoring this movie?
I'm not scoring it very well, Duncan. Blackenstein can suck my extremely average-sized white penis. It's kind of one. There was potential in Blackenstein,
100
and it's just like every
100%.
note they could have hit, they miss.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it was open for like humor, and
Yes.
there's none. There's none because they try and play this film straight, and no for me.
No,
What about yourself?
I'm joining you with one. I've got one here. Like I saw this a long time ago, and in my head I remember it being slightly quicker paced, and also in my head not taking itself as seriously as it does. And on this rewatch, I realized very, very quickly that it's on paper. There's a like a crumb of an idea, and it doesn't know how to parse it out. But then I remember it's a blaxploitation movie made very, very cheap at a time where they're just trying to churn them out. So
Yeah.
at the same time, it does check. There's a lot of these movies that just are not great. And this is one of the earlier ones. So there we go. We're giving this movie 1 out of 5. And with that, we are going to bring this in for a close. And that's a wrap on Blackenstein from 1973, a film that proves that you can't just stitch together genes and hope for greatness. It's part horror, part blaxploitation, and part what even is science, and yet somehow still manages to be weirdly charming in its own shambolic way, if by charming you mean having the leg of a tiger. Massive thanks to the Baz, the only man who can watch a movie where the monster looks like a paper mache pinata and still call it aesthetic. If you love what we do here, subscribe, rate and review, and spread the gospel of glorious trash cinema on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Your feedback fuels us like questionable science fuels Eddie's rage. The next time on the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, we're locking ourselves in a lab with Shakma from 1990, a film that asks, what if your D&D night was interrupted by a homicidal baboon with anger issues? Expect fur, fury, and the most terrifying primate since King Kong discovered cardio. Until then, keep your scalpels sharp, your experiments unethical, and remember that here at the B-Movie Blitzkrieg, the bizarre meets the brilliant, one B-movie at a time. Baz, say goodbye to our listeners, please.
Gute Nacht, meine sexy Liebchen. Keep those panzers rolling and those Jericho horns a howling. Blitzkrieg!